We are if we are if
Read all about it.
Oh,
Mike
geez.
Gibbons back on the coffee.
I was talking about coffee and you started screaming in my backswing.
Best way to read the newspaper with a hot cup of coffee. Top
Oh,
stories
it's
today.
good.
Rush Limbaugh, Florida man. Mike Gibbons, how are you?
I'm good. Wait, did you just preview a story? What was that?
There's a lot to talk about today. I like, when I'm standing on the street corner with my newsy cap and I'm trying to get people to toss me a nickel for the paper, I
Got
give
it.
a little tease of what's in it.
Ah, I see. The microdosing has moved up to bigger doses of shrooms, it sounds like.
I need a major dose of shrooms. I need me, you, Malloy,
Yeah.
and maybe Ken Fink to go off in a field with a fistful of mushrooms and talk about what the fuck life is all about now.
Wow. I don't know. That's a tough question, isn't it? I don't know.
I spent the last 2 nights at the clubs in LA. They just reopened this week. And I did the Comedy Store one night, and then last night I did the Improv. And it was just like so surreal to not do it for a year in LA.
Yeah,
It was the
right.
first time on stage in a year. And it was kind of magic, but it was also kind of like, you ever have an orgasm and you're not in control
No.
of it, and it comes out a little ahead of you and you don't completely feel it. You still have it, but you're not really behind it.
Yeah, or you're just in an Uber and it just shoots out of you or something. Yeah.
Right. And then the guy
Right.
pulls over and kicks you out.
Yeah. And you're like, all right, I get it. Fair. Please give me
Fair.
4 stars.
And so it was like that. It was good. I saw a woman who I really liked, who I hadn't really seen before, Taylor Tomlinson. You ever heard of her?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she was really funny.
Yep.
I was very impressed with her. And then I saw your friend Neil Brennan.
Right.
He had some funny new shit. Apparently, his brother Kevin got into it with Bobby Kelly. You know Bobby Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, big Bobby Kelly out of Boston. Fucking Kelly. So I guess the story that I heard.
Kevin's getting into it. Was it Gelman, the other one? Gulman?
Gelman, I think, punched him in the face.
Yeah, pinned him against the wall at least, right.
And then Kevin was videotaping Bobby Kelly on stage, and then Bobby got off and screamed at him and threw him against a wall. And I'm not sure what else happened after that.
Wow. It's going to only help Kevin's career probably, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm tuning into his podcast because of it.
Yeah, there you go.
As are all of our listeners. So that's another 150 people.
See? All right. We both are not much energy.
I was just going to say, we both look a little groggy.
Yeah.
Late start because of you.
Yep, I'm going to own it. I apologize. Next week I'll load it with stories, I think. My dad's in town next week.
Is he really?
Yeah. So for him, we should get out on the golf course.
Oh, now I heard a rumor that you are out taking golf lessons from a professional.
I did. Yeah. Professional is an interesting word. Yeah. I found a guy in Craigslist, and let's just say it's the Craigslist version of a golf instructor.
Yeah.
Tats like crazy. It actually a pretty unbelievable story, but it's too much to go into. But
what do you mean it's too much to go into?
I'm too tired. I can't get it going, but a fascinating life. Put it this way. I am, as soon as Tom O'Neill gets back into town, I'm introducing them because this is not a joke or just throwing it around loosely. I literally think this guy will be the source of Tom's next book.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
On something I can't really talk about it. On something Tom has been very interested in.
Okay. So the guy's gay.
No, actually very far from it. Yeah.
Did I tell you my conversation with him? We do our Blue Chew ads. And so I told him that we get all these free samples. Have you gotten your free samples of Blue Chew?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told him I got so many packets, I don't know what to do with them. So he said, I want some. I need some. I go, Tom, you're gay and you want erectile dysfunction pills? And I was like, yeah. I go, do you ever think maybe you're just not gay? Like,
He's such a slob. I've always accused him of being a
Right.
closeted heterosexual.
maybe you just like show tunes. Maybe you just like,
He doesn't. He doesn't.
yes, he does.
He loves Patti Smith, so that does put him on the map a little bit.
No. When he has his TV, he listens to music through his TV, and it's set to like old Dinah Shore type music. No, he's
Yeah.
totally into the campy gay music.
Well, listen, we're typing for sure, stereotyping, but he is a slob who listens to Joe Rogan. Like he doesn't check a lot of boxes, not a lot of the gay boxes.
No,
Yeah,
right. But he's gay.
yeah. It turns out he does check a lot of gay boxes. See? All right, that was a good podcast. I didn't think I had it in me. Oh,
I had yeah. So
have
we
you
got to give
seen In and of Itself?
what's that?
God, a bunch of people told me I had to see it. It was a off-Broadway show, I guess. Magician. I mean, we can wait and talk about it in entertainment if we want, but if you haven't seen it, I guess we won't. I have to see it again because I kind of fell asleep during it. But
Is it the
this-
one where the crowd? Somebody comes back from the crowd the next night.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
but he guesses. He has everyone write down, "I am a comedian. I am an author. I am a mother." Whatever it
Yeah.
is, and everyone has those cards anyway. He probably with an earpiece, but he remembers at the end. He talks to each one. But the guy was so annoying. First of all, so many people crying, including him. But it was kind of like, hey, I have tricks, which are, whatever. I have good magic tricks. Let me embed them in an incredibly melodramatic story. And that's what this vehicle is going to be. I just want to go back and see if he's as annoying as I thought he was the first time.
Yeah, I liked the show, but it was like, just fucking get to it and stop talking like a douchebag.
Oh my God. So creepy.
Yeah,
But,
so
I mean,
creepy.
that's most magicians.
He was just like every other magician. There's nothing believable about them. They're just like they have to have this certain intonation that's very like schmaltzy.
Yeah. It was like the worst TED talk I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it was like Kevin Brennan's podcast.
A little bit. Yeah. Except he doesn't know
I'm trying
anyone's
to get
name.
I'm trying to get Kevin mad at me so that he'll yell at me on his podcast.
He's
And you know
gonna-
what the worst thing about him is? Like, he's asked me to come on his podcast. I say yes, and then he says, "Okay, we'll do it," and then he doesn't follow up, and then I get tweets from his followers saying Greg's being a pussy and won't come on the show, and then Kevin will like that.
Right. Well, like 3-4 years ago, I was in New York and he had me on his podcast. And then I pitched him. This is the thing. Greg and I will host a podcast and have both Brennan brothers on. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah,
Both said no.
really.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I brought it up to Neil also.
I think you have 5 other brothers, or I think there's 10 siblings. And I think
I think it's 11. I think it's 11.
of the 11, you can only find 2 that would be on a podcast with each other.
Neil would tell me stories about like the rules, because you know what it's like. You have 2 kids. I'm overwhelmed by 2 kids sometimes, like the getting out, and then of course one's gluten-free, which completely messes me up. You can't keep it straight. They had to make all the kids also is 11. Now 11 probably weren't in school at the same time, so let's say 8 or 9. They have to make all their sandwiches for the week. So let's say it's 8. 3 aren't in school, right? That's 40 sandwiches that are being made on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then he I don't think this is a bit of his. He kind of had a funny line. And I was like, well, wait. And he goes, yeah, I know what you're thinking. No. And then they freeze them Sunday night. And you take out 1 a day for school, 5 of them each. And he's like, I go, yeah, but wait. He's like, I know what you're gonna ask. And the answer is no. Peanut butter doesn't thaw by lunchtime. But crazy rules, like about the laundry. Like it's out on the street if you don't empty it like after a first warrant. Like it was, I
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of structure there. There have to be.
Yeah. By the way, Modern Drummer magazine this month,
Oh yeah.
which is like the Bible for drumming. It's huge. Our good buddy, Eric Lederman, is on the cover with Fred Armisen.
So I thought he might be on the cover of Mid-Century Drummer. Which one is he on? Modern Drummer?
Modern
right.
Drummer. Yeah.
I don't get that one.
Well, it's like Modern Family. It's like they were modern back in the
Yeah.
90s.
I tried Contemporary Drummer for a while, but I don't know. I just liked the
Yeah.
Krupa stuff. Yeah, anyway.
I used to get Old Fashioned Drummer. It was the guy with the British uniform and the snare drum attached to his chest.
Walking Drummer? Yeah, I got that.
Anyways, we both know him from the Ellen DeGeneres show,
Which
where
is
he was a
crazy. that
producer.
He was there too.
and now he's like, I think he's like the co-showrunner on Seth Meyers' show.
Yeah.
But he's done everything. He ran Impractical Jokers, and he worked on Howard Stern, and a million shows that we both worked on. So congrats to Eric.
Yeah, and follow him on Instagram. It's highly original. Tons of pictures of his dog. So rush to it.
Yeah, he used to have a dog named Murray, and
Oh, Murray was in my house. I know Murray well.
yeah, Murray was a good dog. He's got, I think, the same breed, but a new version of it now.
I thought it was Murray for a while because I'm out of touch with him a bit.
His best feat for me, we had so many laughs because we needed to working at Ellen. You know, when you found a kindred spirit who was as miserable as you at the place, you
That's
actually
exactly
have
what
so
it
much
is.
fun.
Yes.
So for April Fool's Day one year, I had a Volkswagen Passat, and I'm driving it, and it was
What a name
around
drop.
April 8th, and I'm filling up my gas tank, and a guy starts laughing behind me, and he's like, "I love it." He goes, "I love your license plate." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I look around, and my license plate said "Official Pimp Mobile,"
Yeah.
one of those frames. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Lederman." He had put it on for April Fool's Day. So it was I was driving around for a week, had no idea. And so I fucking laughed so hard because I had 2 baby seats in the car at the time.
Yeah, well, clearly you're pimping.
I'm pimping. And so as a tribute to the joke, I left it on for 5 more years until I finally sold the car. It stayed on.
Higher resale value because of it, of course.
And I think he was getting me back because like the first week at Ellen, he was a researcher. And so the writers would ask the researchers for stuff if they needed it. And so I had asked him and this other guy, Pete, to do some research. And then I gave them each Starbucks gift cards to thank them.
Oh yeah.
And then they came back to me a couple weeks later. They finally used them, and they realized that there was no value on the cards. I picked them up off the counter, unfilled, and gave them to them. And they got online and they were like, "Yeah, chocolate croissant. You know what?
Yeah,
Throw an
you go
extra
big.
shot in there."
Yeah.
And anybody else? Hey, I got it. I got the card.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah.
Rude of them to bring it up. You take that one silently.
You just say it must have been a glitch in the computer. Fitzsimmons would never do that.
Of course.
And I barely knew them.
What a research department, by the way. Kate Schellenbach from the Beastie Boys
Yeah.
and Lederman in there, 2 drummers.
Yeah. And Pete, why am I forgetting Pete's name? Pete
Thompson.
Pete Thompson. Who
So
is,
cool. I don't.
yeah.
He might have started while I was. Did he start from the beginning in research?
Yeah, he was there from the beginning.
Another super cool guy. I don't think he drums though.
No, but he has his own. He has a lot of equipment. He's like a production. I
Oh,
think he
no,
works
I've
for a
hired him.
production
He's great.
Company guy now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's really good at what he does. And he used to be married to Karen Kilgariff,
Yep.
who was working with us at Ellen at the time as well.
Yeah.
Crazy. We should write a book, Mike.
She left him for murder.
That's right.
No, she has that amazing podcast. My
I wonder if
Favorite Murder.
I wonder if you're dating somebody who does a podcast about murder, if you start to wonder what their obsession is with murder, you know?
Yeah, if they go really deep, but they keep it light. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
good podcast.
It's such a good
I mean, there
podcast.
are really melodramatic true crime ones where they're trying to go, very gravely serious
Yeah.
and establish that tone. And it's like, all right, slow down.
Speaking of music, David Chamberlain
Yeah.
did our song this week. It was very fun, little angelic, transcendent feeling song.
Oh.
And he is with recordla.com if you want to check out his other stuff.
I
Logo
like it.
was very cool this week. Oh, who the fuck did it? I don't know. The ref.
Oh, Jesus.
It's funny, right?
Well, there was a lot of speculation. The photo was very weird that they seem so giant next to the Carter. It's the Bidens,
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs., and next to Mr. and Mrs. Carter.
Yeah.
And the Carters look very small. And they're like, well, oh, that's what happens in like a wide angle. The ones on the the explanation didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But I guess conspiracies were like that they photoshopped it and enlarged themselves or something. I don't know. But look how tiny we are.
I know. It's great. God, Jimmy Carter's got the old man shoes, doesn't he?
And I'm Carter, Mr.
Yeah, those big, bulky shoes, those corrective shoes. Jesus.
The dude is so old. Are you kidding me?
Rosalind's tits still look pretty good.
Oh boy. All right. That's a
Couple-
busy dress on Jill.
Couple
All right.
corrections this week.
No.
Just a couple. Tora Nolan said, love the show. I've listened to every episode and was delighted to hear that I could call out Greg on his inaccurate musical knowledge. Regarding the story of the female who broke the record for singing the lowest note, Greg said that she sang a C major tone. In fact, the hashtag after a note signifies that it is sharp.
I questioned that, by the way. I let it slide.
Look, the last time I read music, I was playing trombone in the 6th grade. And I remember that. I thought that was a major.
That explains it.
I mean, I learned guitar, but it was always with just by feeling it out and having people show me chords. I didn't really read it.
Yeah.
So all right. I think my conviction with it was strong, though.
I questioned it. You fucking just stamped that down, denied it. That is not to be questioned.
Joanne H. said, correction, heady means intoxicating, exhilarating,
Oh,
not
Joanne.
intellectual. Mike did a very popular definition mistake. He
Yeah.
spelled mistake M-I-S-T-A-K. Joanne H.
Mistock. Yes, she's right. She's absolutely right. I did mean, when I saw that letter, I looked it up and I did find one definition, maybe because of such popular misuse that did put in there intellectual, but I can't deny I was using it wrong. Like, yeah, I did say heady to.
I had no idea. I thought heady, was just the more literal translation of like you're smart.
No, not at all. Like
Yeah.
you probably thought you were being pretty heady about the hashtag sharp sign. You weren't.
Elizabeth Brown said the word forte is pronounced fort, not forte. That's it. You want to sound like an asshole and correct people. It's been mispronounced for so long that the pronunciation forte has been added as acceptable. Oh, really? Do you drive a Porsche? And do you wear Nikes?
Well, touche, Elizabeth Brown. You got us.
Yeah, I guess we were kind of douches.
That does happen though, like having an S on the end of my last name. Technically, if it's singular possessive, I know I'm nerding out, but I don't know a lot about grammar. But when your last name ends with an S like you, like Mike Gibbons's phone, technically, the old school, it was ONS apostrophe S.
Right. No,
If it's-
really?
Yes, if it's plural, You put the apostrophe after this. I think we've talked about this before. Anyway,
Wait,
so
I thought
many.
it was just S apostrophe.
That's
it.
if it's plural. And so many
Oh.
people did that, just do it, that way, that it is now acceptable.
Yeah, let's dumb down English a little bit. It's too fucking complicated. I feel sorry for people that are coming from another country trying to learn this goddamn language.
Well, the word, can I remember it on the fly here? The word that I just have given up on, like go F yourself, is nonplussed. Because nobody seems to know what it means.
I thought it was unimpressed.
No. I this is off the top of my head. I still decided never to use it again, even though I think I know. It's you are actually so taken aback that you have no facial expression.
Really?
I believe that's what it is.
All right,
Maybe-
the definition here in the dictionary says of a person surprised and confused so much that they are unsure how to react. Yeah,
Wow. I
Yep.
think I nailed that S.
kind of nailed it.
So everyone
I think
misuses it.
non-pussed means like if you're not getting laid at all.
Yeah, like non-pussed since 2014.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh boy, this show's moving along.
I think we're doing good.
Okay. See, Jerry Garcia, jump ahead. There's a juicy one. Jerry Garcia
Okay.
did heroin. It's confirmed.
Billy Mongodvan said, I'm a huge Deadhead. And Mike was almost correct about the Dead using heroin. It was just Garcia. He
I kinda
smoked
said
it.
that. Yeah.
Not long before he died, Jerry showed up for a sound check with a shower cap on because he'd forgotten to take it off after using it in his hotel room to protect his hair from burning when he smoked his Persian.
We've all done that.
He actually died sober in a rehab facility in Mill Valley trying to quit, but his heart finally gave out.
Wow.
I think he did heroin for decades.
Well, people knew, like, of course, the whole Dead community would be like, oh man, he was so off, like, in Hartford or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
there was a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
I mean, it was I hope he doesn't overdo it tonight. There was just, like, it was just a fact of the shows.
Yeah.
There's
He
no
was-
explaining Bob Dylan or other, like, fucking Van Morrison or those other, like, well, Van Morrison's more the moody one who it's like, is he going to have a good attitude tonight or is this a complete waste of money? Like that was a big thing for like 15 years with that guy.
I know. I've seen Van Morrison probably 5 times in my life. And I would say 3 of the times was like one of the greatest concerts ever. And 2 of them were I wanted to leave early.
Yeah.
He gets drunk. He just gets drunk and he goes into these bluesy riffs where he starts like scat singing and he just like disappears behind the music and he forgets
Well,
to come back out again.
When you say it like that, it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're on heroin.
Who did I listen to this week that I liked? It's not new at all. I'll get it later, but it was nice. Also, Talking Heads again. I went into a little Talking Heads thing.
Oh,
Always.
Yeah. Little Creatures.
Oh,
The best album, top 5 albums of all time.
yeah. I think we've talked about this, but any listeners who haven't seen Stop Making Sense, it's not just a live concert. It's a movie. Jonathan Demme, Oscar-winning director of Silence of the Lambs, directed it, and it is art. It is really, really great. And there's an amazing breakdown of it on YouTube where a guy it's like a review, but it's really like he just kind of structurally critiques it in like a film appreciation way. And the imagery, the beginning, the middle, the end, why the order of the songs. And it's really great. Like that review is also great. You should actually read the review before you see the film.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know what else is amazing is
Oh.
Sunday.
Oh,
We are supported by Sunday, Mike. They support the show. They help us
you don't have
pay
to tell
for
me
our
about it.
producers and pay for our editors and your wardrobe that's hanging behind you.
I said you don't have to tell me about it.
So listen, we both have lawns, and well, I do. You gave this product to your mom, who has a lawn.
Lawn is killing it.
What was it like before and after? Because I think that's the best way to describe Sunday.
Southern California, she had given up on it and was like, you know what? I also maybe it's just not worth it. There's like no rain here and it's too much maintenance and there were weeds and it was just like not attractive. And I was like, and then this came along, got it. Thank God it was simple. Otherwise she wouldn't have bitten on it. And it's already pre-mixed. You don't have to be a chemist, and you attach it to the hose and just water the goddamn place.
You water it and it takes 15 minutes. And the other thing that's great is like with ours, we have dogs and I never wanted to put any weird chemicals on the grass because I as much as I don't want them to live a lot longer, I'm a little bit over them.
That dog's a
want
bastard.
I don't want them to die from fertilizer. So they use all natural, non-toxic ingredients, and it works fast and easy. The website setting it up is actually kind of fun because you can see them hone in on your lawn from space, and then they like you said, they send you this pouch, you strap it on, and you're off and running.
They know your ecosystem. They know about how hot, cold, rain. They know everything.
Yeah, we used to have dry patches, and now it's like solid green, the whole thing. So let Sunday take the guesswork out of growing a greener, more beautiful lawn this spring. Get sundaypapers.com/papers. Get sunday.com/papers to get $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout. That's $20
Nice.
off your custom lawn plan at getsunday.com/papers.
It's Mother's Day, everybody.
Oh, right.
And get some flowers, sure, which have been ripped out of the earth, but throw this in there.
Hey,
And you don't have to go shopping.
this is
don't
a
have to go to the
great gift
store.
for Mother's Day. Anything that says, honey, get out and do some shit on the lawn for me. I'll make
Yep.
it easier, but you still got to do it. Hey, you're divorced. Do you do anything for Mother's Day for your ex-wife?
No. Should I?
I don't know. She's still the mother of your children.
I guess. I haven't even contacted well, I guess I have a day. We're full disclosure, we're recording this on Saturday. There's one more shopping day left.
Will you get something for your mother? Flowers?
Yes.
You get her
yes.
flowers?
Yes.
You go see her?
I don't know. Now that you're saying it like that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll take a picture of a card in the store, but
Oh,
close up so she knows that she doesn't know I didn't buy it.
right.
Yeah. And I'll give it to you when I see you.
Nice.
They've been holed up, boy, for a year, obviously over a year. They've really played it safe because they have some compromised immune systems.
Just say it. They're black.
That's what it is. Yeah.
My wife will get morning yoga. You gonna come down and do some morning yoga with us on the beach tomorrow?
Oh, wow.
9 a.m. outside your door.
That sounds like a California overload. Okay.
And so I'm gonna take my wife to that, and then bring her home, and then she's gonna get. Usually, you get breakfast in bed on Mother's Day and Father's Day, so then she'll get back into bed, and we'll make her some breakfast.
All right. What
And
time's
then,
yoga?
9 o'clock.
Oh, too early.
Come on.
All right, 9. It is right in front of my place. All right, let me see. I might consider that. You guys can't laugh. I'm racked up. It's not
Evan-
a pretty sight.
Evan and Lisa go. Cass goes. A lot of people you know. And it's Morgan. Morgan teaching the class.
Yeah, no, I know. All
You
right,
know, from softball.
Volleyball.
Volleyball.
all right. What do we got?
All right, let's do it.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, in Florida, this is not the Florida man story, but it is in fact a Florida man named Governor Ron DeSantis. He signed an elections bill that makes it, of course, more difficult to vote.
This is what Florida needed: more voter confusion, because this is there's a lot of confusion over this because, go ahead. He himself is contradicting himself. Go ahead.
He has literally said that the elections were already highly secure. He boasted in November about how well the general election had gone, saying Florida was now being seen as, quote, the state that did it right and that other states should emulate. While Republican Secretary of State Laura Lee, a DeSantis appointee, said in December that her department had, quote, successfully administered 3 safe, secure, and orderly elections in 2020. But now suddenly they need to restrict mail-in voting, voter boxes, all this stuff that make it more difficult for poor people to vote. How about this, Republicans? Instead of stopping poor people from voting, why don't you do some shit to help them and then they'll vote for you? Isn't that the way a free election's supposed to work?
Remember the hanging chads? You know what's funny? If you took this Republican outrage and also, you know, what they're calling the big lie, right? If they were fans, if they were Democrats in that year, God, I'm so brain dead. It was Bush with the hanging chads, where the Supreme Court, which was Republican, decided the election. And not Kerry, but what's his name? Just Gore conceded.
Yeah.
For the better of the country.
Right.
It could have been dragged on. Absolutely. That's just a fact. And they could have appealed it and gone on. But I mean, you want to talk about an election that was very likely to have literally been stolen.
Yeah.
Like, not a lie. I mean, look into it, whatever. I'm sure I can hear everyone typing corrections now. But that was like a legitimate, like the Supreme Court. I mean, like, courts had to get involved, and they didn't all agree that nothing was wrong and that nothing happened.
No, they found later on, they found a truck full of ballots from a poor county that were never counted. And the people, well, whatever. I don't want to get too into it.
Well, listen, when they oversaw them, just look it up, read it if you don't know the history, or remind yourself, which is what I should have done before I opened my mouth. But they would just if it was a hanging chat, literally a Democratic vote, any vote, but most of them were Democratic in that county, where the piece of paper had not been punched all the way. It was just dangling, flopping, hole for the Democrat was punched, but it was a hanging chad. They demand that ballot be thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing Florida did was they had a law passed that allowed felons with certain conditions to be able to vote. And then right before the last election, they just mysteriously, quietly overturned that. And that would have, did Florida go blue or red? It went red this year, right?
I think, yeah.
But they say it would have altered the vote. There was
no, I think it did, because the big Cuban story.
Yeah, right.
The Republicans played the socialist card.
Yeah.
And knowing it would land with Cuban Americans, I guess.
Yeah. Huh. They got the. All right. So another, if we're going to pile on Republicans, you want to read this next one?
I guess we're piling on Republicans, but it's just funny. The GOP. Wow, man, I should go to sleep. The GOP-led Missouri House voted to create Rush Limbaugh Day. The Missouri House on Thursday voted in favor of creating Rush Limbaugh Day, as Rush demonstrated courage to speak boldly and encourage his listeners and viewers to reach for their dreams and to push onward beyond the naysayers and discouragers that we all encounter in life. This is what Sarah Walsh said. What she liked quoting him, like that one, but you know what quote she didn't drop was, this is Rush. Drug use, some might say, is destroying this country. Limbaugh said this in October 1995. And so, if people are violating the law by doing drugs, they ought to be accused and they ought to be convicted and they ought to be sent up.
Huh.
Said this while he received 2,000 pain pills prescribed by 4 doctors over a 6-month period, all from a pharmacy near his Palm Beach house. And then he was getting drugs and using his house cleaner to get the drugs.
Who was, by the way, his other big thing he railed against was undocumented workers, which his housekeeper was, who was getting him the drugs.
So they didn't mention that for Rush Limbaugh Day. It sounds like a good day, man. When you're doing 2,000 pain pills over a 6-month period, I can't do the math that fast. That's a lot of pills in that day.
That's a meal. That's enough to fill your stomach.
Yeah.
He also said some cool stuff, like Michael J. Fox was doing a TV ad advocating for stem cell research. Limbaugh saw the ad and said Fox had been shameless in moving all around and shaking, and that he had not taken his medication or he's acting.
Ah. Well, he does know about medication. I'll give him that.
Right. And then there was another woman who came on, and she was a law student named Sandra Fluke, who was talking to, I think it was the Supreme Court. Who was she talking to?
I mean, the list of his outrageous things he said.
She called him a. She was
long.
in support of mandating insurance covering contraceptives. He called her a slut and a prostitute.
Yeah, that might have been the 18 pills that morning talking, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just a disgrace.
He was a global warming denier.
Yep.
And Islamophobe. He was a lot of things, and he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Why is there no fucking checks and balances on who gets a Presidential Medal of Freedom? Is it completely at the president's discretion?
And by the way, he bought himself out of doing jail time in Florida by paying $30,000.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. And went to rehab.
All right. As we're bashing the Republicans, suddenly our producer Chris Denman's gotten very active on the Google Doc. He said Sandra Fluke, and then he wrote he's from Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Well, that's why Missouri's honoring him.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Glad we could
Good
wake
stuff,
you.
Chris.
You think me and you were out of it today? Jesus Christ.
Hey, listen, he didn't have to research that. Chris knows where all his heroes are born.
He can read some of these quotes from Rush. They're tattooed on his calf.
All right. Lower back.
In Colorado, a Republican state lawmaker from Colorado was referred to a colleague as buckwheat.
What?
During a House session.
Wait a minute.
He was reprimanded. State Rep Richard Holtorf made the remark during a debate. Buckwheat was the name of a stereotypical black child character in the 1930s R Gang and Little Rascals short films. The character was later repeatedly satirized by comedian Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live. And here's his quote. I'm getting there. Don't worry, Buckwheat. I'm getting there.
Oh my God, wait a minute. He said this. He said he was not addressing a black. I'm reading the story for the first time. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said he was not addressing a black person, but a black, the Democratic House Speaker stood up, and I believe she's African-American, or maybe she's Latino, Adrienne Benavidez, and she interrupted. And he said, that's an endearing term, by the way. Why are you yelling at me? Everybody started yelling and booing him.
Yeah. Why are you yelling at me, fuckface? Another endearing term.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And when he said the N-word, he just meant it like, my N-word. He wasn't talking to a black person.
It's affectionate. These are terms of endearment, buckwheat.
All right.
What is happening?
Buckwheat. I'd never heard that used. I never heard it used, as a term of.
Maybe her I'm sorry is kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm not even black. How does that make sense? Like maybe it was just confusion.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting to it, buckwheat. What? That's crazy.
I haven't watched those. I got to go watch those R Gang ones again and see if he was, how bad the racial stereotype was against buckwheat. I can't even remember.
Oh, I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. I think. I love them. I wonder if you can. I wonder if they're going to become harder to find because of that.
Yeah.
With the left's rampage against all political incorrectness, which is out of hand.
Which, by the way, which leads us to entertainment.
You got it. All right.
All right. In entertainment, let's
Can
talk
I read
about.
the first story?
Well, now I want to tie Billy Crystal into what we were just saying because he,
Okay.
in a New York Post article Thursday to promote his new movie Here Today, the 9-time Oscars host was apparently asked about the state of comedy and cancel culture. He said, quote, "It's becoming a minefield and I get it. I don't like it. I understand it. I just keep doing what I'm doing. And that's all you can do right now." And he got a blowback on Twitter. So as somebody wrote, "It's amazing how many euphemisms and analogies are offered up for, quote, we're annoyed that white dudes can't say whatever they want anymore," one user wrote. Paul F. Tompkins chimed in.
All right.
He said, "Imagine if all the mines were above ground and were labeled mine, and you got upset because someone asked you politely not to step on the mines."
Huh. I can't believe Paul Tompkins doesn't think it's a little out of control. Well,
Yeah,
I guess what are we?
surprised by that.
I guess I don't know what we're talking about.
I mean, we're
don't know.
talking about that in comedy. There's certain things that if you talk about become lightning rods where people will critique it. They'll get on social media and blast you for it. They'll boo you while you.
So
while they're in the audience.
how can Tompkins have any issue? I mean, I'm not defending Billy Crystal here, but every single comedian talks about how there's zero effort when someone's trying to cancel someone. There's zero effort to look at the context. An alarm goes off when a word is used.
Yeah.
And every comedian, I mean, it's like, it's not even worth talking about now. Like everybody knows that.
Now, I think maybe Paul is working in front of the same crowds all the time at Largo, where everybody's on the same page. But when I worked at real clubs, not that Largo's not a real club. I love Largo, and Flanagan's a dear friend. But there is a certain type of crowd that goes to these rooms, and they're all sort of like, they're all on the same page. And
Well,
if you do something in a comedy club on the road that's a little that requires some context, I'm a white guy and I'm saying things and I'm making fun of that I'm a white guy, and there's no understanding of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, totally. I would differ though and say, in that crowd, very much one of the biggest names or most frequent names in Largo is Sarah Silverman, and I don't think she'll back away from a good rape joke, and has even discussed that there are defendable rape jokes because, of course, it's not making fun of rape.
There shouldn't be topics that you can't broach. And what's happened is they've just categorically said that certain people can't talk about certain things. And I disagree with that.
How about nobody, unless you're keeping the letters from me, no one came at me about my Caitlyn Jenner criticism.
Nope.
Well,
I guess we've attracted our own crowd. I mean, our listeners understand that we're fucking around. We're pushing boundaries to get a reaction. There's nothing wrong with that.
We haven't pushed many boundaries today. We're a little slow off the mark, but why don't we try to jumpstart things? I think a politically correct thing to say is Caitlyn Jenner is just a stupid fucking woman. How about that?
Can we call her a cunt?
Stupid fucking woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you call what I like calling guys cunts more. That's the British streak in me that Corden and everybody put in.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And by the way, I didn't add this last week. This stupid woman. Keep in mind, maybe I did say this, but obviously we went over the vehicular manslaughter, which she bought her way out of. By the way, that was, that happened right after the transition. And of course it was just a race to Twitter. Everyone was like, women drivers.
Yeah.
But it was everywhere. But this is the worst decision. Think about the choices that when she's running for governor, You have to look at choices. That's what you're doing. What's your history? This person's best friend was fucking OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
How about that choice?
Yeah.
And then married his other best friend's widow and knowingly, consciously made the choice to enter the Kardashian family. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
No man has survived the Kardashian family. Not Bruce, obviously. Not Mr. Kardashian.
What about Kanye?
Yeah, oh yeah, he hasn't lost his mind. And also, he's out.
Did they divorce? Oh yeah, they're getting divorced, aren't they?
Not one man has survived.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show. Maybe one of those fucking. Are any of them married? I don't even know. Are they married? Oh, and what about the basketball player?
Yeah.
Holed up doing crack, I think, in the desert, or like totally sad story. I'm not making light of it. Didn't survive the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think you should do a bit about next time you do stand up. You should flesh that out and talk about it. I think that's a good bit.
Here's my stupid woman bit. You guys ready? Should I do it in Largo?
Do it at Largo.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not slamming Largo. I hope that doesn't come out that way. I fucking love the crowds there. I love working there. I'm just saying that it's important to work other rooms.
It's very heady. It's very heady there.
It's very heady.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, I'm starting to wake up a little, bitch.
you want to do the next one?
Entertainment story. Jamie Lynn Hinkler, 39, is the manager of a 4-screen Spotlight Theater in Minnesota. She's been arrested on narcotics charges after she sold cocaine hidden in a bag of popcorn to a police informant.
Yes.
You want to reopen theaters? There's your niche. That's the way to go. Are you kidding me? Oh, hey, you want to go to the movies? Yeah, by the way, we're going to go to the Spotlight Theaters. What's playing? Does not matter.
We're going to be talking through it anyway.
And here's me after, like, oh my God, did you see Minari? It's about this Korean. I think they're Korean. I don't know. Anyway, they're Asian, but they're Asian for sure. Anyway, they go to Arkansas, they start farming, and they kill baby chicks to pay the bills. Anyway, the grandmother moves in, and she's starting to lose it. The kid pees in the bed. That's how exciting did I just make Minari sound? And then you're sitting there watching Nomadland with an eighth of blow up your nose, like, move it along.
Yeah, right. They're doing the previews. Is this the movie? How come they're showing the movie? I didn't know we were going to see a Marvel movie. Why is it so
I might
loud?
leave early because I'm going to go write a screenplay.
I said Coke and popcorn, not Coke in the popcorn.
It's great. I don't know why. I mean, the police informant, don't you have bigger fish to fry? Let them sell cocaine in a popcorn.
Right. It's going to be tough to snort it because it's going to be all soggy with butter on it.
I know. Imagine with your 3D glasses, just doing little bumps off your key. Like, that's the funniest image. Everyone with those crazy block glasses with powder on their nose, sniffing. The whole
You're going to be excited about this. Your good friend Greg Gutfeld, the debut week of Fox News Channel's new late night program, Gutfeld, topped broadcast program NBC's The Tonight Show. It tied Jimmy Kimmel Live, outpaced Comedy Central's The Daily Show, and Conan. He averaged 1.5 million viewers.
Wow.
Which is more than Real Time with Bill Maher, James Corden, everybody.
How dare you?
And I got to say, I think it's just the power of his comedy. He's just so fucking funny. Like, I'm constantly quoting Gutfeld.
So whenever stuff comes on, and even debates or whatever, I go to Fox, right? I don't need to be in the echo chamber, and I can't stand, just so people don't tune out here, I can't stand some of the left commentators as much as I hate the right ones as well. But I go to Fox News because, like, I do want to see their take on shit, and especially when they ignore stuff. But the verdict came in from Minnesota, and he was on there, and of course he's promoting his show, and there's like 6 talking heads in boxes. They're like, thoughts on the verdict. And of course they were all very happy with the verdict. What else are they going to say? And he goes, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it. You know what? I'm happy he was guilty and want to be guilty, even if they didn't prove it. And all 5 hosts, to their credit, were like, what? No, like they were like, no, you can't say that.
Yeah.
he's like a complete idiot. Like
He's an idiot.
that's the one thing you couldn't say that day.
Yeah.
You could actually say, you know what? I hate to be this guy. I don't think it was an open and shut case.
You're
I think it was very emotional, and I think it was, it was excessive and everything. But technically, he didn't break it. Like maybe you're a person with that view, okay?
Right.
You could state that. What he stated, no one can get on board with.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted him to be guilty because I hated what I saw. Like, it doesn't matter if they proved it.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a letter from somebody I thought was kind of interesting. This woman, Susie, wrote in, I've been thinking about your question. Why are the late night hosts lefties? Because they're all lefties. I have a murky theory. I attend the Episcopal Church.
Okay, murky.
Several years ago, I was asked to participate in a focus group of Christians who support gay marriage. We had a counterpart group of Christians who did not support it. At the end, the staff conducting the focus groups commented that our conversations were full of lively laughter, while the other group had been very serious answering all the questions. They asked us why we thought that was. My answer was that it is hard to be joyful when you're discussing your various levels of intolerance. Our cultural right at this time is very intolerant of a lot of groups of people. It's hard to jest about that. It's much easier and funnier and lighter to satirize intolerance. I think that's kind of interesting.
That's very interesting. Although the left is shutting a lot of shit down and being intolerant too. So
no, it's true. It's hard to say which side is more oppressive at this point.
But it's the least funny when they are doing that. I mean, it is true. Like when you're anyway, whatever. All right. Good for you, Gutfeld, whatever his name is.
Yeah. All right.
How about SNL? By the way, this is Sunday. How do you think SNL is going to go tonight, though? Saturday. I mean, obviously, I'm so tired I can't even articulate a sentence. How do you think SNL is going to go tonight? We're taping this before SNL.
Well, SNL will be hosted tonight by the great,
the great Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, and it's not always comedians that host the show. Like they've had Giuliani, Steinbrenner, Ralph Nader, and of course, Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that weird, except that the guy admittedly has like Asperger's, doesn't he? I mean, is he even capable of saying something funny?
His tweets can be pretty amusing, I have to say.
Oh, yeah?
And you've heard him on Rogan, right? He smoked pot on Rogan, I guess, famously. But you've heard him. I don't know. I'm interested to see, what do I give a shit? It's not like it's going to soil SNL. Like, who cares?
Well,
that's why this controversy. Yeah, this controversy I don't get.
Miley Cyrus is the musical guest, so they'll still get a lot of people are going to watch.
Oh, no. Without her. Forget that. Without her, a ton of people are going to watch. And that's why they have them.
Yeah.
But I guess there was controversy in that. Well, there's people that hate him for his business tendencies and the anti-union thing and all that stuff. But I guess, his vaccine comments and I remember hearing him on Rogan sort of downplaying the virus. Now, don't fucking write in all angry if you're on the Elon Musk army and you listen to that. I actually did listen to that podcast on Rogan, and he didn't know what he was talking about. He was proudly saying, I took 4 tests, 2 came out negative. Like, the tests don't even make sense. But he's not a scientist. I just want to hear, if you're going to talk about that, be responsible and maybe at least quote some scientists when you're talking about it.
He's also a little bit of a hypocrite because he's all about green renewable energy and his electric cars and all that. But then at the same time, he's a huge supporter of Bitcoin. And I think he just made like a $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin. And you can buy Teslas with Bitcoin. And, they say that the amount of energy it takes to support that blockchain is enough to power Norway. Like a day of power usage to support Bitcoin could do all the energy in Norway, or all of the windmills in the world combined. So
for Bitcoin?
Yeah, Bitcoin, for some reason, the amount of computer energy necessary to run it. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah, I understand Bitcoin less now somehow than I did 4 minutes ago.
Yeah. Did you invest in it?
Yeah, I did one of those side funds, an ETF and whatever. It's actually up a little, but I got in late, of course. Anyway, I'm surprised it didn't crash. The but accepting Bitcoin as payment is an interesting proposition because it's listen, I know the dollar value goes up and down, but the amount that Bitcoin's value fluctuates, it's kind of like saying, hey, can I pay for this car? Here's my stub from Vegas. I bet on the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl. So this
Yeah.
might be worth
Right.
way more than the car
Right.
in a few months.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to buy a Tesla. Here's an IOU from this guy I shot pool with in Boston 3 years ago.
Totally.
Let's do some Florida Man.
Oh, what do we got? There we go. Oh, I think the pandemic is over, y'all. The Hemingway Lookalike Contest returns to the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
They skipped a year because of the virus. The annual Hemingway Lookalike Contest, though, is set to return to Florida Keys this summer. It's the 40th contest. It's, of course, hosted at Sloppy Joe's Bar. And the bar also plans to stage its Running of the Bulls, which is a parade of Ernest Hemingway lookalikes, some riding on fake bulls with wheels.
Wow. That's fun.
It sounds like it should be Running of the Bears. I mean, it's not only these big hairy guys, but they're all in Key West.
Yeah. Oh my God. If I was gay, I'd have a one-way ticket to the Keys right now. They should actually hold it in Portland if they want people that look like Ernest Hemingway.
Big hairy guys that love cats.
Yeah.
In Key West, can you get any gayer? There's a lot of speculation that Mr. Macho was gay.
Oh, and he was just.
I never heard that before.
He was overcompensating his whole life?
Yeah, that all the macho bullshit, obviously was a reaction and an exterior, or maybe that he was fluid. I don't know, but I don't know. I shouldn't even. I did read it anyway. I have no idea if there's any merit to it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
Trying to think of if there's examples in his book.
Well, the sun, S-O-N, the sun also rises. I don't know. It's a little weird. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
Let's do an international story.
Oh. Yeah, what's up with this?
A large Chinese rocket is out of control. It's set to re-enter Earth's atmosphere this weekend, bringing a final wave of concern before its debris makes impact somewhere on Earth.
Oh, phew, I thought it was going to be near me.
We're going to ignore all jokes in light of sensitivity to Asian people. We're going to ignore all jokes about bad driving by the Chinese and just focus instead.
Sounds like you snuck it in there. Okay, go ahead.
The long rocket, it's about 100 feet tall, weighs 22 tons, is going to enter around May 8th, which is today, Saturday.
Oh.
Wow.
I think the Kung Pao chicken's going to be cold by then. Are they delivering? What's wrong with that joke?
There's nothing wrong with that joke.
By the way, if you think about it, Chinese delivery in New York City, I mean, I don't know what it was like, but like that was the thing. Like, yeah. I think they deserve credit for where we are now, where everyone's getting all these meals delivered and everything like that. Like that was it
was the only food you got delivered.
Right. You didn't get it back then. I mean, I'm sure there were places that would deliver you a pizza, but it wasn't like it was the norm. All of Manhattan ordering Chinese food.
Yeah. And if you were a writer,
than us, yeah. What?
If you were a writer, I mean, that was famous. Going back to like your show of shows and all these shows where they would order in lunch every day, they got Chinese food delivered every day to the writer's room.
Divorced dad in New York. The only thing in his fridge, rock hard boxes of white rice that were in there. I don't even know how long, but that's what was in that bachelor's fridge.
Yeah.
And soy sauce packets.
Yeah, it's almost weird to go like Chinese restaurants. Here's the thing about Chinese restaurants. In New York, I find a lot of them too dirty to eat in. I mean, I'm talking about going back to the
Yeah, yeah,
80s and
yeah.
90s. Yet I would eat it when they brought it to my house.
Right. Yeah. None of the germs travel.
Yeah.
But and it was fast. You'd be like, okay, so you'll be there, what ding dong, like they're at your
Yeah.
door before you hang up.
Right. Right.
It was so efficient, so great.
Yeah.
Imagine how many of them died, like on their bikes, just
Oh my
they're
God.
dressed in dark clothing,
Yeah.
flying around New York City in the rain. And of course, by the way, when it rained, that's when everybody ordered in.
That's right. What do you
All
think
right.
is the biggest takeout day of the year?
Oh, that's interesting.
I think I heard it was like the day,
Oh, no, Super Bowl.
probably the Super Bowl, but I think also the day before or after Thanksgiving. I think the day before Thanksgiving.
Huh. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, we're not counting ingredients delivery, like groceries delivery, right?
No, food. Chris, will you
right.
look that up when you get a chance?
I
know
told
you're
you about
busy.
I told you about my dumb sketch idea I want to do where it's Benihana and it's Benihana to go, like during the pandemic, and all the Uber Eats guys and the Grubhub, all the delivery guys are waiting around, and the guy's flipping like a shrimp in their hat. He's like, we don't need a show. This is a to-go order. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, look at the heart. It smokes. It smokes. It's like, holy shit, just put it in a box. I think it's a good sketch.
I had an idea for a sketch of like a guy who gets they have topless house cleaners. They come to your house and they
Yeah,
clean
we've
your
gone
house.
over that. Yeah. Like, all right. Yeah. What? Go ahead.
And the guy orders it, but he's bummed out because he has to work that day. So he gives her own key.
Yeah. A terrible Yelp review. They didn't dust.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But also, yeah, what is that about? Like, I mean, clearly it's prostitution. It's not just so the guy's going to sit on his guy or girl is going to sit on their couch watching this topless woman, and then he moves rooms with her.
Yeah, yeah, and doesn't help. Like I know when we have a house cleaner. She comes over every other week, and she's great. But I always feel guilty because I do have free time, and if I have nothing to do when she's coming over, I can't sit and watch TV while she cleans the house. I can't sit and read a magazine while she's cleaning the house. I feel like I have to go out. I got to get out of her way, but also I don't want her to look at me like, look at you, fucking rich guy, just sitting there while I do your work. Why can't you do this work? You know?
Imagine an angry topless cleaning woman, and you're sitting around. Will you lift up your feet? I'm vacuuming. Like just real.
Yeah.
Lift up my feet. I'm naked. That's what you're gonna say?
I was okay. So Chris Denman wrote, the night before Thanksgiving is the biggest day of the year for food delivery.
Nope.
Halloween is the biggest day for pizza.
Bullshit. Chris, go fuck yourself. You think Halloween's bigger than the Super Bowl for pizza? Wrong. I don't. The news. What?
This reminds me
Stolen
of
election.
Neil Brennan had a joke last night that he said, he goes, here's the new thing is people have opinions about facts.
Yeah.
Like he's writing down facts and you're having an opinion about it.
It's not a fact. Where does he get his facts?
The Orlando Sentinel.
Oh, print it.
Florida
That's
News.
money in the bank.
Yeah. All right,
no
speaking of
way.
money in the bank, let's talk about sports.
Oh, segues. What do
Conor
we got?
McGregor can't believe what he saw from Floyd
I
Mayweather
saw that clip. I saw it.
at a press event in Miami to promote his exhibition boxing match with YouTube star Logan Paul. Mayweather was at the center of a melee after Logan's brother, fellow
It's Mel.
YouTuber.
We're gonna get a letter. It's Mel, not melee. Melee. Go ahead.
What did I say?
No, you said it right. I'm just saying it's one of those.
Fellow YouTuber Jake Paul removed his cap from his head. It was at that moment, with cameras surrounding them, that Mayweather attacked Jake, leading to a chaotic scene in the bowels of the Hard Rock Stadium. Anyway, you slice it, 44-year-old Mayweather brawling with a 24-year-old YouTuber with just 3 professional fights, all wins against non-boxers. is a sad sight for McGregor to see, and he let that be known in an Instagram post in which he tagged Mayweather. Quote, the kid actually just pulled this shambles of a situation Floyd is in out of the drain for him. He should thank him. It's embarrassing. Pro to pro, it's embarrassing. He will not scratch $10 million for this fight, and he knows it. The world is watching this on Twitter. He'd fight half decent pro and command to $20 million upwards, yet it's this shit. Whatever way you spin it, it's sad. Fight someone for real on your record or fuck off, mate. Slap head. I think he slapped his head once.
Who is he criticizing? Mayweather?
Yeah, he's saying, why are you fucking around with this YouTuber? You know, you're lowering yourself.
Well, I'm going to watch because I'm, I guess, hoping for a death in the ring.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I see the 20-year age difference, but I mean, Mayweather is one of the greatest of all time.
I think he is the greatest of all time.
You can't hit that guy. I do wish he was more of an offensive, but maybe he will just take him apart.
I was reading about this kid. I read an article about Jake Paul, and he started one of these houses. It's like for influencers, and but he did this thing where he would find influencers who were on their way up, and he'd invite them into the house. One of them was like 14 years old, and he would basically garnish their wages and give them like a small percentage of what they were earning and keep the rest himself. And he would like play really mean pranks on people. Like one guy had an electric piano that he used. It was like kept him sane, and he threw it in the pool. He was just like a real fucking douchebag to everybody.
Okay, now I like him. You talked me into it. Anyone who's fucking with influencers, I'm a fan.
Right. I know influencers really are. If there is the lowest rung of entertainment, it's influencers in terms of what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
And yet they're making the most money.
I don't know if it's up or above or below brand ambassador.
Right.
All right. What do we got?
Speaking of brand ambassadors,
yeah.
Tom Brady just bought a boat. Remember he bought a boat like 6 months ago?
I sure do. It was like a 55-foot boat.
Yes. And he bought it. It was a $2 million boat. He bought it the same week that he received a $2 million PPP check from the government because he was unemployed that year, I guess.
Yeah.
It was fucking bullshit. Anyway, he's trading that boat in and he's getting a $6 million boat. This one's 20 feet longer. He said he needs it because it will be a little more suited for what we need down here, which is a few more day trips and weekend trips. We spend a lot of time in the Bahamas, so going from the East Coast to Florida, across the Bahamas and around the Bahamas would be really great trips for us as a family. Is he the most boring human being of all time?
I don't know. That sounds pretty cool. But I will say, man, when people are literally like food deprived and there's like, it's just have some self-awareness. But you know what? Buy your fucking boat. Don't talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
Nothing can sound good.
Yeah.
By the way, your boat has a 200-gallon capacity for fuel, and it gets, at best, 460 miles. So this boat is, by the way, I think that's generous. I think that is. I grabbed that stat from the boat's press release. That's kind of like your car getting 35 miles a gallon when it doesn't get fucking close to that. You have to be going downhill in neutral. So even them bragging with, I think, an inflated mileage, it's still 2.5 miles a gallon.
Can you get to the Bahamas? Is the Bahamas 460 miles away from Florida?
Oh, yeah. It's less than 100.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Bimini is really close. It's off of like Fort Lauderdale or something. It's like, you can't see it, I don't even think, on the clearest day, but I think it's like 40 or 50 miles. So of course, everyone can write in and tell me
how little I know about geography. Jesus.
Yeah, it's straight off there.
All right, let's do some science.
Oh boy, what do we have?
She blinded me with science. Dun, dun.
Oh no, now we can't put this on YouTube.
A TikToker discovered
didn't hit one note. Go ahead.
A TikToker discovered a breakup-worthy detail about her boyfriend after taking a DNA test he gifted her. the 22-year-old TikToker, explained in a video how she received a DNA test from her boyfriend as a birthday present. She never knew her biological father, and her mother was adopted, making her mom the only biological relative she knows. So I was mostly interested in the health information, blah, blah, blah. It took a month to receive her results, and she was shocked when they came in. I scrolled down, and I turned to my boyfriend at the time, and I said, hey, this is pretty nifty. This person has the same name as you. And that's how I found out I was dating my cousin.
Whoa, get out of here, Buckwheat.
I dare you to imagine a more white person in Saskatchewan scenario than this, she captioned the video, which was posted on Thursday. Wow, that's insane.
What does that mean, the white person thing?
I'm not sure what that
like
means.
She's white as a ghost?
She's
maybe. She's nonplussed?
Maybe. I do think if you're trying to get views on TikTok, I think you don't break up with the cousin. This is your angle. This is the thing people are going to tune in for.
And then their kids can do 22andMe because they're missing a chromosome. There it is. I worked it in.
Now. That is amazing. Finding out that you're dating your cousin. Holy shit. That would be you're sort of
that breakup worthy?
It depends on how good the relationship is. You can either bury it, like you have a decision. You look at the results. Nobody else is ever going to find out that's your cousin. So if you're comfortable with we're going to date for a while, we're never procreate, but I love this chick. She's super hot. I don't want to break up with her. I'll keep it quiet.
All right. If it's really, really, really distant, clearly there's shared DNA. So it's still no kids. But the whole the royalty, they've had kids. And I know
they look great. They don't have big foreheads or anything.
Some are a bit special. But I'm just saying, I wonder what science would come down at. Like, what is the ratio of shared DNA that's acceptable? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because clearly, are you kidding me? For hundreds of thousands of years in tribes and in other countries, obviously people are related.
I wonder how closely related they are. Yeah, Ireland.
Everyone's shitting out 11 kids. You don't think you're going to shack up with a cousin at some point?
Right. I'm going to look up how close they were.
Meanwhile, if I had said that about Mexico, forget it, I'm canceled. Yet, Ireland, we didn't even blink.
All right. A woman explains that her. Yeah, I think it's. Have you ever had a cousin? My friend, I'm not going to say who it is, a comedian, was having sex with his first cousin.
Whoa.
For years. She was super hot. And I think they both got off on the fact that they were cousins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
All right.
It was Kevin Brennan.
Jeez. Well, there he is. It's in the numbers. He probably was with his sister, and he didn't know it was his sister. She had moved out.
There we go. Let's do some business.
What? Oh, do I have to look up how I'm doing? All right.
Bitcoin is at 57,000.
This goddamn
bouncing
stock market.
back a little bit. In the Investopedia contest, which you can still get in, go to the Investopedia site, scroll down on the left side, and you can join into the game. It's called Sunday Morning. It's called Sunday Papers.
I'm not doing so hot. What am I ranked? 243.
I am 265th.
Whoa!
I'm down to $92,000.
I'm down to 94. I consider this a win, man. I'm only down about $5,000. I lost 5,000. Fucking, I'm going out to dinner tonight.
I couldn't find Olivia on there.
Maybe Denman.
She was at 110 last week. Craig Kilborn is playing. He listens to this podcast.
No, Kilby?
Yeah, he hasn't done anything. He's at 100,000 still. He's just sitting
Oh.
there.
Playing it safe.
He's what do you call it in bicycle racing? He's drafting.
Oh, very good. Very good call.
In
Breaking
last,
Away. Perfect
in-
movie. Go ahead.
in first place, Sunday Morning Stonks is still at 198, and in
I might make some
last
moves
place,
this week. I might make some moves this week.
Haunted J has dropped down to $19,000.
Haunted J, go get him. All right.
Yeah. All right,
All right,
let's
what are
do
we
a
doing?
little bit of this day in history.
Did we? Okay.
We'll do it quick.
All right.
The FDA approved the world's first commercially produced birth control pill. It was commissioned by birth control pioneer Margaret Sanger and funded by heiress Catherine McCormick. Sanger, who opened the
Slut.
first birth control clinic in 1916, hoped to encourage the development of a more practical and effective alternative to contraceptives that were in use at the time. I think there was controversy about Margaret Sanger, though. Some people say that she was like a eugenicist. What do you call it when you want to control poor people procreating?
Republican? Come on
Yeah,
now.
and she doesn't want any of these babies to vote. So anyway, yeah, big deal for women. It changed how women behaved once the
Sluts.
birth control. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
I don't even know the status. We're so old. I don't even know the status. Like, is like the morning after pill being abused? I have no idea.
The morning after pill, I believe, is just like taking a handful of birth control pills.
Why am I taking it though? I shouldn't be taking it, right?
No, you shouldn't take it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop because
Stick-
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Ritalin and Blue Chews.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
Oh,
there
here
was
it
like,
is. Yeah, Chris just put in a headline from USA Today. Remove statues of Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood founder tied to eugenics and racism.
Hey, you nailed it on the eugenics.
Yep, I said it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, what was there? There was like, it was pretty. I mean, first of all, a condom is the crudest idea ever.
Yeah,
Like,
it really is.
Imagine if we had a big meeting and there was no birth control. I'd like birth control. It's like put a bag on it. It's like what?
Yeah,
Like that guy wouldn't even talk again in the meeting. Like that's
You're
the
right.
worst idea ever.
especially since the meeting is all guys.
And then how about a diaphragm? It's like, wait, it's like, Susan, how would that work in the meeting? And she's like, well, it's kind of like a trampoline and you just bend it and slide it in there and the trampoline opens. That's your idea?
Yeah.
And then you fill it with poison. It's going to kill the sperm. What? Let's get back to Carl's bag on the dick idea.
Yeah. I get an idea. It just goes in her mouth. Yeah. Hurrah, hurrah.
Yeah, the one guy, the quietest guy in the meeting. All right, any more ideas? Anal. Wow. You could have led with that. We could have gone to lunch earlier.
I get an idea. It's really close to what you guys are talking about an inch. All right,
man.
let's do some letters to the editor.
All right, we're skipping this Amy. This is a loaded Amy, man. I don't think we have time for it.
Too heavy. It's too heavy.
Too heavy. All right, we're going to do it next week.
All right, Joanne says, I seem to really have a crush on these guys.
Oh, and she
Uh,
wrote earlier correcting me. Oh,
We also have
I have a heady feeling just reading that.
a few people were asking about last week. We had a woman on who was interested in dating you.
So
we did
sweet.
her birthday. She was so sweet. So people are wondering what the status is of that. Are you going to ask this girl out? Are you going to meet up with her? What's going to happen?
I listen, I'm a mess, but I think we should go out to lunch with her. She says she's going to be in Southern California.
We should go out to lunch with her?
Yeah, you're my buffer. It's nice. It keeps it. She's a fan of the podcast.
You want me to be the third wheel?
Well, or I could be. I wouldn't do that to you. Why don't I be the third wheel? How nice. It's we treat her to lunch. I don't know. I do have to email her though. She was so sweet, so nice, so well read.
Yes, very well read. She reads the
She collects demonic cats sculptures with crazy eyes when you plug them in.
Yep, she got nice art on the wall. She was a little twitchy. She jumped around a lot. I think she was nervous.
By the way, am I going to say whenever I've tuned in this YouTube thing, I'm like Twitch Fest, and I'm not known as a twitchy guy, but I don't think anyone's watching. And kind of like after a joke, which luckily there have been none in this show, like I'll shift my weight and move, and like I don't like watching it at all.
But people thought she was hot. A lot of people wrote in, said she was super attractive. They're excited to hear what happened.
She's very attractive, and what a soul. She
Nice
ran
soul.
she ran to the front line during this pandemic.
That's right. And she's been doing yoga for 15 years. So, hey now.
You'd be an idiot not to join us for lunch. What are you doing?
This one comes from Andy in San Diego. I know it's been a running joke, but after listening to today's show, I think it's pretty obvious that Mike's sexual preference is not women. Last week, Mike sounded like he wanted to fly to a Midwest city to explore the guest listener caller's internal horoscope. Today, Mike was so hesitant to go out with a blonde yoga addict whom is half his age. The writing has been on the wall since Mike is in the closet, but also in the closet. Mike is a meta.
Oh.
Jesus.
What's a meta?
I guess there's alpha, beta, and whatever a meta is.
I don't know. I thought meta was like another like fourth wall down level of doing something. A joke on it. The joke is on the joke.
I see. Right.
I don't know. No, but that's not how he means it. I think he just means I'm a bottom. What?
Yeah. Huh.
All right. Someone tell me what meta. Chris is pretending he doesn't know what a meta is right now.
There is Matthew Eaton said, "Hey, Greg, you mentioned on your podcast and Sunday papers about public golf courses being used for the homeless. A great idea everyone should be behind, save Fox News and Corolla. Malcolm Gladwell did an insanely interesting podcast about the laws in LA specifically that allows use of huge spaces for a silly game. Spoiler, it ain't fair. Thought you'd find it interesting. Love the podcast. Thanks for all the laughs." So, I mean, look, if they're going to have to house the homeless somewhere, where else are you going to find that much open real estate except for a golf course?
I have an idea. People are not going to like it.
Yeah.
Let them sleep in a cemetery.
Hear me
out.
Wow.
There's plenty of dead things under the earth all over the place. It's not just cemeteries. You might be sleeping on top of a dinosaur. I don't know where this is going, but all I'm saying is it's just sitting there. People don't even play on it.
And you've already got the headboard. It's right there. It's got someone's name on it.
Yeah. You probably have nice flowers.
Yep. And it'll make you sleep because there's so many people that are in a permanent sleep. I think it would be intoxicating.
You don't think they'd be comforted? The souls that are in that cemetery, that graveyard?
And you would save money on having to have a guard to stop the grave diggers.
I've probably told this before, but you know the story when my grandmother died. We're all at the thing, and my dad had bought, I guess, 5 plots, but I think it was like 3 and 2 on top of each other, whatever, however graveyards work. But you can put caskets on top of each other.
Okay.
Like you can buy a deeper grave, and it's for whatever. So we get there, and they see that there's no casket down below. Anyway, there's confusion. We have this guy in a box, a woman in a box, sorry, ready to bury her with her deceased husband who died in the 70s. And total confusion. The groundskeepers call over, like the manager, he drives his car up, comes over, and he's like, yeah, 362, plot 362, whatever. 362 is the next headstone over. It's another family. And that's where my grandfather had been buried. And my Uncle John, without missing a beat, and in front of everybody dressed in black and mourning, goes, "You mean I've been pissing on the wrong grave all these years?" Swear to God. It's like not even like it would be a hacky joke if I made that up. He really said that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I got to visit my dad's grave. I used to go.
I bet it's the same cemetery.
Yeah, I bet it is. It's
in Westchester?
Gates of Heaven, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. The one in Westchester, or is that the one in Brooklyn?
Well, the Bronx has so many. I think the Bronx ones are filled up. It's unbelievable how many fucking cemeteries there are in the Bronx.
Yeah.
But no, Westchester's got some space. He's probably up there. My dad's got a nice spot up on a hill, good view. I'm gonna go visit him. I'm gonna be in New York this summer. I'm gonna go visit the grave again.
Yeah, and build on it. Get one of those kit houses that that gets delivered. You set it up.
Yeah,
What a view! You own that land.
that's right.
Yeah.
Lars.
Homeless shelter.
Then this one comes from Reese. Reese says, "Love you guys. Listen to every episode of all three of your podcasts.
Whoa.
Question: when you sit down to read a newspaper,
Oh,
do you crumple it into a ball or just quietly lay it out flat? That
Oh.
loud crinkle sound you make into the microphone is incorrect. Newspaper reading is largely silent except for a little flapping and maybe a quick snap if you fold it back. The sound you do is more like when you shove newspaper balls into the fireplace, and it goes on for so long. Would you
Yeah.
please consider not
big
doing that
fireplace.
anymore? People like me suffer from misophonia. Would appreciate it so much. I won't quit listening if you keep doing it, but it would be such a nice favor if you'd stop because it causes me to become enraged and on the verge of tears." Jesus.
Can we? Are we looking up misophonia
Misophonia.
and meta? Is he a meta phoniac? Huh. Well, poor
I have
Reese.
tinnitus,
Poor
by
Reese.
the way.
Oh, dude, I have ringing in my ear. The good news is it's in both ears. You want it to be in both.
Yeah, mine's in both ears.
It's it's that old Ray Romano joke. He's like, oh, I he felt a lump. He's like, first thing I do is, oh, this on the other side too. Like, I can't do Ray Romano, but anyway, he like checks for the what is it called? Symmetry. That's
Yeah.
not the word. But he wants, if it's on both sides, it's not a tumor.
Right.
It could be, I guess, a big one.
But yeah, I heard about tinnitus, and as soon as I heard about it, I stopped and I listened, and I was like, oh yeah, I got loud buzzing in my ear, and now I'm so aware of it that I listen to audiobooks going to sleep. I can barely hear the book over the
Yeah.
buzzing in my ears now that I'm
So-
aware of it.
Hey, jut your lower jaw out. Does the pitch get higher?
Yeah.
Same. Mine
Yeah.
gets really higher. And if I do it long enough, when I go back to normal, it's kind of gone. Like, that's how I get to sleep sometimes. It's a
Can you-
really attractive thing.
Can you play Jethro Tull songs?
Why? What's that? What do you mean?
He plays the flute, right?
Yeah. No, I have ringing, and they say sometimes it just goes away on its own. But mine's clearly, maybe I'm grinding my teeth or something.
Dude, I looked it up. It's something like 15% of Americans have tinnitus.
I think it's called tinnitus, which is a bullshit proper pronunciation.
Are you serious?
I swear. I think it's called tinnitus. Okay, meta. Chris, we need the pronunciation on tinnitus. We need meta. And what else do we need? What's this phobia this guy is suffering from?
He says he has it. Chris says, I've been accused of having it. Noises bother me more than others. Well, what an excellent selection we've made as a fucking editor of a podcast. Noises
and
bother him.
How did Reese have time to write such a long letter on paper crinkles when he's digesting 3-year podcasts a week?
Well, Reese is not a man. It's a woman.
You don't know how they identify other than something phobic?
Yeah. It sounds more like does it sound like a man or a female to be bothered by noise?
Oh, he thinks meta is a typo.
Huh.
What could it have been? Let's look at the keys. Let's try to. He's a neta. He's a meta. He's
they're all over the place, those keys.
all right.
Oh, he's thinking
Mets.
maybe they meant beta.
He's a Mets fan.
Oh,
and-
he meant meta instead of beta. Yeah, that makes sense.
oh, I'm a beta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Speaking of betas,
And that's all, folks.
in the obituaries this week,
Homeless
Bobby
people.
Unser. He was part of the
Check.
Unser family,
All right.
and the family has 9 Indy 500 wins between them. Began racing young. His winning career began at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. Blah, blah, blah. He had an early crash that kept him from glory. He would win his first Indy in 1967. He became the
Ah.
first driver to exceed 170 miles per hour there.
Wow.
He also won it in 75 and 81. In 81, though, there was a controversy because I guess there was an accident, and they wave, I think it's the yellow flag, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to do laps and not pass anybody.
Yeah, you're not supposed to change position. Yeah.
Well, he passed 8 cars during the caution, and so
Oh,
they
I see.
stripped him of the win, and then he protested, and they gave him the win back again.
Wow.
But I feel like that with like last night doing stand up, you could see people were rusty. Like Neil Brennan was like, I feel really rusty. But then other people who had been really writing and were really ready went up. And I sort of felt like this last year should have been a yellow flag for everybody in life. I don't want to hear that you wrote a fucking novel. I don't want to see that you've got flat abs. Nobody else did that. You should not have improved yourself. You should not have tried. 2020 was a yellow flag lap.
I like that.
Yeah.
Did you do that on stage?
No, I should.
That's a lot of people would relate to that.
Yeah.
Is anyone else feeling bummed? And this is the, not to sound pretentious, but or too beta, but it's a very existentialist thought. There was something, obviously, I'm always expecting the other shoe to drop, whether it's the stock market, the earthquake, right? And there was something comforting in this. Like I remember there's a book, I think it's called The Moviegoer, I think is the name of it. And it's like kind of talked about as the existentialist novel. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand what existentialist meant. But what it was he felt joy when he like got in a car accident on the way like to work, because an existentialist view is just, there's nothingness. It's just blandness. It's blah, blah. It's just the same old shit. And so when something interrupts, even if it's very disruptive, it's actually, you feel alive. Like,
right.
And like when I was a kid, it wasn't just praying for snow days because I didn't do my homework. It just disrupted the world. Like I liked when then it was almost validating because I thought, I guess I have a sneaking suspicion that's going to happen. So when this pandemic happened, I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
Like there was something validating to my stupid worldview that everything isn't working. It's going to break down at some point because this is just a pyramid scheme thing. And now I find things going back to normal are making me a little depressed. I know I shouldn't say that out loud, but like,
No, I think a lot of people are feeling that.
yeah. And I haven't accomplished shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's really important that people, and that's why I want to take some mushrooms. I think it's really important that people just seriously that write off this year and they give themselves a break. I am in the worst physical shape I've been in my life. All my muscles have either disappeared or they're sagging. I've got a fucking belly, and I'm starting to go to the gym now, and I can't find it in me to get back into that headspace that I used to go to the gym and I'd fucking work hard for an hour, 4 days a week. I was good.
Wow.
And now I can't find it in me, and I need to snap back, and it's really hard.
Yeah. Well, I think you should do that bit on stage because I think it's not only I think people would really relate.
Yeah. All right.
You should do that. Like, and then the race car analogy, you could probably come up with a couple of others. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Like everyone just keeps circling.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No
Hey,
one can- no-
you. Stop with the puzzles.
Yeah. Exactly. Puzzles are kind of cruising in neutral. I have to say.
Yeah. Get back to the puzzle. Get back
Yeah.
to the puzzle. Stop doing fucking burpees.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're being very insulting to our listeners right now because we started this podcast during the pandemic.
That's true. That's
See?
true. We
We're
found
always,
it in us.
we're always working from a deficit model. What about our surplus?
Right.
See, we're doing stuff.
Speaking of surplus.
Oh, transition. Don't do that. Reese, that poor guy is being driven crazy.
Sorry, Reese. How about this?
Oh, shit, I didn't get a family circus. Oh, are we stopping fucking family circus?
I put a family circus in there for you because you were working from a deficit today.
I was. All right.
We got a note from somebody who said fans of newspaper comics will instantly notice something missing in many of the strips this Friday. Pants.
Oh.
More than 25 cartoonists behind strips from Blondie to Zippy the Pinhead. There's a comic called Zippy the Pinhead?
Yes.
Are celebrated. Is that like a buckwheat kind of a thing.
Don't ask me about it. Go ahead.
They're celebrating the quirky holiday No Pants Day that
What?
helps charities get clothing to those in need. So
By mocking them?
Participating artists are drawing their characters without trousers and urging readers to donate clothing to thrift and secondhand stores
Oh,
hard
great.
hit by COVID-19. Yeah, let me donate my clothes to a thrift store so they can mark it up by fucking 8,000% and sell it to a hipster and buy a second home in Malibu. That's what I should do.
Oh, great. So the Keens get to do less work because they don't have to draw pants this week?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I can't wait to see Snoopy without pants. That'll be interesting. Don't a lot of them not have pants on anyway?
Yeah, a lot of the animals do, but in the first one, the Lockhorns,
Garfield?
Leroy's walking out of the house with no pants. He's got his briefcase and a cup. Loretta goes, "Hold on, Leroy. I think you've gotten too used to working from home."
Ooh, contemporary.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
And
kind of
then-
like it's like modern drummer. That's modern.
Yeah.
By the way, Hager, never seen him with pants. Go ahead.
It's true. I've never seen any of the women in the castles that he invades with pants on. Not when he's done.
No, they were on.
Leroy, in the second one, Leroy is standing in front of the beauty salon with Loretta, and he says to her, "After all those years of teasing your hair, it finally fought back."
This guy writes jokes.
He's great. He's great. All right, now Dennis the Menace is standing with another kid, and they have no pants on, but there's a banner that says May 7th, No Pants Day across their groin areas so you can't see their cocks. And Dennis says, "I hope Mr. Wilson knows about this."
It's not bad.
I don't know. It sounds a little petty. It sounds a little pedo, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Mr. Wilson does know about this.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, come on, you guys. Hey, I got cookies.
All right, here's a family circus. I put it in for you. Read
All right,
it.
I'm going to read it. You ready? It's a circle. You have an old woman leaning in. I'm presumably the grandmother. And wait, let me make this bigger here. This fucking circle. She is holding a box of crayons. And she's talking to these two ridiculous kids with their orange hair. And who, did you just
I just
take
made
it away
bigger for you.
Oh, geez, it just
Scroll down.
disappeared. There we go. And they're coloring in coloring books. And she, clearly with dementia, picks up the box of crayons and says, "Crayons can teach us a good lesson." And then she goes, "They're different colors, have strange names, but all learn to live together in the same box."
Huh.
Okay, strange is a hard one to defend, but I bet I don't know if a grandmother with dementia can defend it, but I might have gone with a different word.
Then strange.
Maybe new or unusual,
Uh-huh. Yep.
but strange technically can be defended. It's, they're going to be strange to that, especially these two little special kids. But yeah, I
It's
don't
also
know.
a little interesting that Jeff and Bill Keane, if there is a box of crayons with different colors, they choose the same fucking color for every kid's hair. They're all the exact same orange. How about some burnt sienna? How about some fucking chocolate? Try out the other crayons, Bill. Jeff,
know.
are you in a rush to get to your tea time?
Or use, and by the way, pick any crayon and write a fucking joke. How about that? I don't care what color it is. By the way, this is a little weird. Like, dementia grandma could have gone another way. Like, crayons can teach us a good lesson. So many different colors with unusual, strange names are put in a box by white people and kept there, forced to live in a crammed, poor environment that white people will occasionally take out and use.
By the way, have you ever seen a black person in Family Circus?
No, are you kidding me? No,
Never once.
I don't know what that's why the grandmother's an outlier.
That black
The
crayon
parents are probably furious.
that black crayon is super sharp, sitting in the corner of that box.
Is grandma
Unused.
selling you her liberal lies?
All right, here's Blondie. So I hear about this and I'm like, oh, fucking great. We're gonna see Blondie's
my
twat.
God. I already
And-
see it. Yep.
And of course, who's got no pants on? Jackass Bumstead.
How do they
Dagwood.
not show her without pants on?
So Dagwood walks in with no pants on. He's got his donut underwear on because he's a child. And his secretary says, "Oh, I see you're participating in No Pants Day to support clothing for the homeless." And he goes, "How'd you hear about that?" Second frame is everybody in the office has no pants on. All right, let's play that out in the real world.
Yeah.
How quickly would you lose your job if you showed up with no pants on and walked up to your secretary?
Well, especially if you're demanding that she stand up to see what she's not wearing.
Hey now.
Hey. Well, yeah, it would happen. I think. Well, boy, you can really hide behind a charity, though. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, the charity would be helping you out after you lose your job and you're on the street with no fucking pants. You can buy your own pants back.
All right, there we go.
Anyway. All right, Mike,
Anyway.
listen. We muscled through it. I think we both were very low energy today, but we did it.
We did do it.
Yeah.
Did we? I don't know. I'm beta, whatever. So there's that.
My alpha was a little fuzzy today, my alpha status.
I'm gonna go back and check in and of itself. All right, did you see anything? We didn't talk about that. You watch anything interesting?
We have been watching. Oh my God. We've been
Uh-oh.
watching The Keepers. Did you ever watch that about the nun who was killed?
Oh, I did. I watched that when it came out.
Holy
Dude, I mean,
shit.
as if the church needed another fucking indictment against it, generally speaking, not specifically. It's so damning.
Yeah. It's
I mean-
brutal. It is so, because the thing that's so brutal about it is how insurmountable a case is against the church, where all the information is being thrown out, pushed down, controlled. Like it's not a civil case; it's a church case. If you want to accuse a priest of molestation, you have to get the church to condemn him, not bring in police, because there's no evidence, and the guy has been moved.
Is it one part or is it multiple parts?
Oh no, it's multiple parts, and
Have you finished it?
No, and we can't binge them because we watch one and then I go to bed and I can barely sleep. It's so disturbing.
I don't want to spoil it. Have you learned what goes on in the principal's office?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was, yeah, when the woman, by the way, it's coming back to me now. I saw it so long ago.
Yeah,
How-
suppressed memory about it.
How admirable, right? Well, how admirable is that woman who says if she gets her mind really quiet, she starts to remember the trauma.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive for that woman to go there.
Well, it brings up, this is a big issue. The suppressed memory, is that what it's called?
Repressed.
Repressed memories.
Yeah.
And this woman had repressed memories for 15 or 20 years before they came back to her. But the trauma was so intense. It literally, I don't think I'm spoiling by saying that there were priests that were molesting girls. It's not, thank God, but in a different take on this, women are being molested, and they just shoved it down. And because they came from a world where you could not conceive that a priest would do something bad. So when they did do it bad, it made so little sense that you were able to compartmentalize it and shove it down.
And actually worse, this bastard, this is the part I didn't know if you had seen this part yet, but he not only would will Cindy, whatever, Sullivan come down to the principal's office, the nun teacher excuses Cindy, she goes, and then Cindy comes back and traumatization is so written all over her face.
Yeah.
That the nun teacher is like, what the fuck? So that's kind of the premise of this documentary, and I won't go on beyond that. Have you gone to where he had guests in his office?
Yeah. Policemen.
Because then they can never get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because the priest has that now on the police department.
Right.
It's so insidious.
It's so insane. How many lives were destroyed because of this school? Because it's the school. It's the school.
Yes.
It may have been the principal, but there's no fucking way that the principal is calling girls to his office over the loudspeaker who come out traumatized. If you're a teacher, you should be tuned into your students enough to know that they were just raped on a
Well-
daily basis.
Well, one was,
Yep,
and it did not turn out well.
that's right. Tune
But,
in. The Keepers. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
And it, by the way, with all that said, it's still less creepy than this fucking melodramatic crying magician
Yeah.
in and of itself.
Did you watch anything else?
I did, but I have a really, I was wondering, is Ray Donovan worth starting?
Yes.
Okay.
I
might
watched
start.
it. I watched it up to a point. Like, here's the thing. As an Irish Catholic, I've always felt like nobody's ever really captured that world, especially like the lower class Irish Catholic world out of Boston.
Yeah.
And they kind of do, but then they push it a little too far at times. At times it becomes a little cliche. But
Okay.
but what's his name? Who's the star of it?
Yeah. Well, Ray Donovan, obviously, idiot.
He's got a weird name. What is?
Yeah, no. He voices all the sports documentaries on HBO. I'll get his name in a minute. Chris
And he-
Denman maybe has his name. Go ahead.
He's so
Schreiber,
good.
Liv Schreiber.
Yeah, Lee.
Chris
Lee-
didn't get it, everybody. I got that.
There we go.
Fucking beta brain.
No, totally worth watching. By the way, you didn't send me your Showtime password yet.
Oh, I got to do that. All
And
right.
I love Gubbins chimes in. And give it to me too.
Of course.
Unbelievable.
How many does anyone know this? Can Chris go? How many can I get? When do they call bullshit? How many accounts can check in and watch
I think
Showtime?
you get 5 or 6.
Oh God, I'm already there then with my kids and shit. And they lose it and they have different devices already.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Well, what do we find out by you giving it to me and me trying to do it?
Oh, and then don't share it with Gubbins.
No.
Even though he shared the code with us to cut the line in front of diverse Angelinos to get the vaccine.
That's right.
He did share that. Yeah, that was cool. All right. Oh wait, I did start watching Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, I watched
hear-
that.
I hear I should keep going. Boy, is episode 1 slow. They're setting it all up, but it's depressing.
It picks up. It picks up.
She nails a Pennsylvania accent though. I'm like, normally I'm like, don't try, like with the Boston accent, but she's kind of nailing it.
I was in Philly and I was asking people from Philly what they thought of it because I was playing Helium the week after it came out.
Yeah.
They said she hits Wooder a little hard. She says Wooder instead
For
of
water?
water.
Oh.
It's a little,
So-
yeah, it's a little hard, but yeah, I think it's not bad. But she's so good. I'll watch her do anything. Kate
Well,
Winslet
right
is
now I am
amazing.
watching her do anything because I want to turn it off, but people say don't.
No, keep watching.
Okay, you watched all of it?
Yeah,
Is it all of it? Is it limited or is it like coming out every Sunday? It's HBO.
every Sunday. I think I've seen 3. I think 3 have
Oh,
come out
alright.
so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give that a shot.
All right, and
Uh,
people, tell your friends, check out Sunday Papers, spread the word. Let's build a listenership. Let's also remember we have a website, sundaypapers.net. And if you want to watch
do?
the show, it is on YouTube. Go to the Greg
Um,
Fitzsimmons channel.
yeah.
Watch it on YouTube.
Do we get hits for that or whatever you call it? Are those counted?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know how podcasting works.
yeah.
Yeah, but subscribe. Isn't that the key to it all?
Subscribe, review, keep us relevant, everybody.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Keep us relevant. All right. What are you doing this weekend?
Well, we got yoga tomorrow. We
Oh,
got
Jesus, I
me
forgot.
and Aaron are gonna go. I think we're gonna go for a bike ride today.
I was thinking of that too. Although when's my nap? I got to work my day around my nap.
Yeah. I know.
Oh,
I need a nap. I
boy.
think I need a nap right now too. And I think anybody listening to this podcast needs a nap right now.
I think they just had one.
Yeah.
Snoozer.
Don't forget to support our sponsors. Go to
Sunday.
getsunday.com/papers and get $20 off your custom plan. All right, Mike, we'll see you next week. Midcoast Media, thank you, Chris Denman and Beth Hoops, for doing a great job. And God bless America.
Oh, there it is. Take it easy, everybody.
Take it easy.